During my vacation from our hometown all the way to Hamilton, Montana, I saw a lot of things. The main highlight of my trip was the eclipse, but I also saw some cool things about the ecosystems around. From the rocks to the temperature to the plants, because there weren't many animals around except for in Hamilton, I wrote up a quick summary of everything that I found, so I will share all of those with you, along with all of the pictures and videos that I was able to snap. I have accounts of traveling on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On Thursday, I wrote down everything that I found in my aunt's yard in Hamilton, Montana. So without further ado, here is day one. Because we were going through dry fields, there weren't very many plants that I was able to notice, though I do have a few main ones that I remember. One of the ones I saw the most of is known as pigweed amaranth, also known as tumbleweeds. Most of them were alive though. I also saw what I've heard referred to as sage. Most of the flowers when I searched it up didn't look like the type around here, but here's a picture of ones that do look like the type around here. There were a few rivers throughout where I went, and rivers always mean vegetation. Some of the ground in the fields were quite sandy, a lot sandier than this. I also saw a few sunflowers here and there in the greener areas. Incoming clip of going into Nevada. Okay guys, and we are in Nevada. Whoa! We're in Nevada. Near the end of the day, we came across a sign that said Save Walker Lake. I was positive that the lake next to us was Walker Lake because, while we saw that sign, we were driving by a lake. One of the towns that we went through in the afternoon was called Fallon, also known as the Oasis of Nevada. It was really green, had a few streams running through it, and there were some pens of farm animals. We finally stopped for the night in Winnemucca, Nevada.
Good morning, guys.
Day 2 of our travels were pretty similar to the last day, except for that today we entered Idaho. That was the Idaho sign. We just saw the back of it. Well, anyways, we're in Idaho now. Great. We also saw a lot more towns than before, and along the towns, most of them were pretty green. The really big thing about today was that we went by a national park that didn't look like a park at all. It was called Craters of the Moon, and basically this is it. Coming to Crater of the Moon, right?
Yes.
Crater of the Moon.
So, this is lava.
And stuff is growing in it?
Yep. Oh, lava is rich in nutrients. Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve.
Craters of the Moon. Got hairs all in my face. Hey, there are snow blocks. There are snow blocks. You're right. Oh, volcanic rock. So that was a very interesting little place. We stopped for the night at a KOA in Arco, Idaho, which is in southern Nevada, just east to Craters of the Moon. In Arco, Idaho, we saw these pretty interesting looking patterns on this mountain in the distance. They look like giant numbers, even though you can't see it on the video, because the camera didn't want to focus. Well, it's a puppy that What the heck?
What? Oh, wow.
All those numbers on the mountains.
You know what? I bet those are.
Can you guys even see that? Nope, the camera is being blurry. Great timing.
I'll have to ask somebody what all those mean.
Temperature-wise, the temperature was a lot colder in Arco, Idaho than at home or in Winnemucca, Nevada in the evening. The next day, Wednesday, we went from Arco, Idaho to our destination in Hamilton, Montana. Today we went through both green farmland fields and dry fields. Whoa, look at this. Dang it, you can't even see it very well. The dry fields were pretty similar to past days, but the mountains around the dry fields, the trees on the side of the mountains were peculiarly placed. They were only growing out of one side of the mountain, the north side. I later found out that this was because, for the most part, the rain came from the south, so it would all end up on the north side of the mountain. And I'm pretty sure you can fill in the blanks, but the place with more water means more trees and other growth. At one point, we went through what was like a mini canyon of rock. It wasn't very tall, but it was very, very canyon-like. The place that we drove through in the middle was pretty small. There was also a river we went by called Salmon River. Next, we went through a pine and probably spruce forest. Small mountains all around were covered with trees.